Hi, I'm Bree Lambert with USL.TV, and I'm out here at the Western States 100 2015. And sitting next to me is this year's men's champion, Mr. Rob Krar. Rob, so tell me, how does it feel? Two-time winner of the Western States 100 now.
I am still convinced at this moment that this is a dream I'm living. So it feels incredible. I couldn't have asked for more on the day, and I'm ecstatic. I'm living a fairy tale right now. I really am.
Yeah, and I heard you just a few minutes ago, Andy was asking you basically about sort of how it felt to have, Francois sort of sitting on your shoulder at different parts of this race. And you said something about, you wanted to see if you could actually kind of break him. So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, I know that you can suffer well, just historically. You and I have had some conversations in the past about your ability to do that. So, what goes through your mind when you're trying to break somebody, down when they're racing so close to you?
Yeah, well, it really helps to have the previous 2 years' experience and know the course. The heat is, it throws a real wrench into the race, and there's a lot of strategy out there today. I went into the race very confident. I was the most aggressive I've been in the 3 years I've run Western States, and I was open to taking more risk than I have in the past. But it's a fine line. You always have to analyze the risk versus reward, and you got to get to the finish line first. You can't be just leading halfway through. So it was. I was really happy with it. It's fun to have such a strategic race out there. Competitors were fierce,
Right.
and I know their strengths. And the idea of sprinting to the finish line from Robey Point is frightening to me. So,
Right.
I really wanted to try and create a buffer, and I paid for it the last 5 miles or so. But I can't be happy with the day.
So when you came through at Devil's Thumb, that's where I was for a period of time today. So that was about mile 47 or so. Francois was sitting pretty much on your shoulder, and then not too far behind Francois at that point, I believe, was Seth Swanson. It seemed like it was a pretty tight race, and I don't know exactly the numbers, so to speak, as you were making your way, through the canyons, El Dorado, and then up towards Michigan Bluff. But I remember last year. You saying that you use your components or your opponents as markers, basically. And so you weren't following a marker per se as you had in Max King last year. But, I guess my question is, how did you sort of negotiate your position with Francois, since you weren't really following him, but you were rather going side by side?
Yeah, it was a challenge. I was trying to determine Francois' weaknesses, and all I could see was strengths. And I wouldn't say it was frustrating, but it was a real challenge. I wasn't feeling great in El Dorado this year. Got to the bottom, feeling very hot. I felt much better in the descent last year, and I wouldn't say second-guessing myself, but it's tough when you're pretty much exactly halfway into the 100-mile race. You're not feeling great, but I recovered well. Early in the race, we got to Dusty Corners, and I think we were 5 minutes below course record time, and I was using that as a gauge as to how fast we were going, what kind of effort I was putting in. And the pace was just too hot. The effort was too high at that point, so I cut back a little bit. But, it was tough. The other guys just very strong out there, and I had to make a move early and see what I could do and to put a gap on them.
Did you feel like they were playing you a little bit during this race?
A little bit of both, really. I think we all have a great deal of respect for each other, and everybody has a different game plan, but I think we were playing off each other for a lot of the race.
Yeah, and now I know that, again, last year when you and I spoke after the race, when you won last year, you talked about your fueling and how you like to keep things simple. Did you stick to that plan this year and keep things simple?
Yeah, as simple as it can be. It was so important for me to respect the heat. I did a ton of ice management out there. That was really key to feeling as well as I did throughout most of the race. Yeah, simple for the most part, I would say. Yeah.
And I know that you are no longer working at your job as a pharmacist, and so let's talk a little bit about that, just real briefly. What is it that you're doing now? What do you have on your plate in the coming months? What's the next season of your life going to look like at this point?
Sure, yeah. Last year was incredible in so many ways, but it was very difficult and a challenge at times, trying to negotiate a full-time graveyard shift with pursuing my running career and other objectives as well. So, yeah, I took a break. It's a 6-month leave of absence, and it's been very, very healthy for body and mind. And I'm putting on an ultra running camp starting next week, actually.
Wow. Okay.
So putting a lot of time and effort into that. And I have a couple other goals to reach for the rest of the year as well. So I'm keeping busy, that's for sure.
Okay. Andy, can you just give us a little hint as to what other goal other than your ultra camp?
Well, I'll see how the next few weeks go, but I booked my plane tickets for UTMB, so that's going to be a major focus.
Okay, great.
And then I have this audacious plan of running UTMB and UTMF, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, great. Well, congratulations again. Thanks so much for your time, and best of luck to you with the ultra camp and your future races. And again, just you are such a man of humility, and I'm super impressed with your ability to just really run this race as well as you do, and to do it so well 3 times.
Thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate it.
For USL.TV, I'm Bree Lambert, sitting here with this year's men's champion, Mr. Rob Krar. And thank you so much for watching.